Hello students, it's time to do chemistry. So for lesson 2, your key concepts include the atom, understanding the atomic structure of an atom, and that every element is defined by its atoms that have unique atomic structures. You're going to go through that. If you have to review it from high school, that's fine, but you need to understand atomic structure. You also need to understand bonding, the 3 types of bonding. Covalent bond, which is the sharing of electrons, the ionic bond, which is the transfer of electrons, and hydrogen bonding, which is the attraction of a partially positive hydrogen ion in one molecule to a partially negative ion in another molecule. If this sounds Greek, well then it's your job to go into the chapter and read it and try to understand it, draw pictures of those atoms when they're bonding and sharing and transferring or attracted to each other. Draw it, try to interpret it, put it together. The online interactives are very good for this section, especially when it comes to the next key concept. Okay, atoms, bonding. I want you to be able to tell me by the time you're done with this chapter that, here we go, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates come in monosaccharide, disaccharide, and polysaccharide forms, and which are the main ones that we find in physiology. I also want you to know what glucose is and what it looks like. It's the predominant monosaccharide in physiology. You need to know that. And you need to know that monosaccharides too make disaccharides, and then clicking up monosaccharides beyond 2, you get the polysaccharide. So understand that monosaccharides make up polysaccharides. All right, so that's one of the macromolecules. The second part of our chemistry is the lipid. You need to understand lipids are hydrophobic, meaning they cannot be dissolved in water, i.e. hydrogen bond in the water lattice. You also need to understand that there are triglycerides. Triglycerides are made up of 3 fatty acids and 1 glycerol. Phospholipids are made up of 2 fatty acids, a phosphate group, and a glycerol backbone. Steroids, yes, they are lipids because they're insoluble, hydrophobic in water, and they're made up of cyclic rings, which is 3 6-carbon rings and 1 5-carbon ring, and a functional R group. And cholesterol is the predominant steroid in our bodies. I know I'm rambling, but I want to share with you that this is in my head, and it needs to be in your head. So we have carbohydrates, we have lipids, which are triglycerides, phospholipids, steroids, and then there's the prostaglandin. It also has a unique cyclic structure. Third type of macromolecule. Can you do this? I'm going to repeat. We have carbohydrates, we have lipids, then the third is protein. In your head, you need to be able to recognize an amino acid. Draw one. Understand they come in 20 different varieties because they have different functional R groups. Amino acids link together by dehydration synthesis, another concept in this unit, to make the larger protein. And the structures of proteins are very unique. You're going to learn about that too. The fourth class of macromolecule, what would that be? That would be nucleic acid, DNA, RNA. DNA and RNA are different, but they're still linked under the heading of the macromolecule nucleic acids. The unit is the nucleotide. You're going to do this. You're going to see these molecules. You're going to read about them. You're going to answer questions. You're going to go to your online interactive, and you're going to play with some of these molecules. So get ready to learn all about atoms, bonding, and those major macromolecules. When we talk about the digestive system, we have to digest triglyceride and protein. It has to be up here. You have to know what these molecules look like. When we are working at the plasma membrane, almost all of the drugs that are used in the pharmacy industry are geared towards the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is made up of phospholipids, cholesterol, which is a steroid. What else? Okay, proteins. which are integral, and they can be receptors or they could be channels, and carbohydrates, which can act as receptors. Again, you need to keep doing this, and by the time you're done, I hope you're talking like I am. All right, the last thing I want to stress is water. 60% on average of you is water. Every cell that's alive must be surrounded by it. Understand that water, the double bonds between that oxygen and the two hydrogen, those are covalent bonds, the sharing of electrons. But the molecule of water is attracted to another molecule of water by hydrogen bonding. I'm giving you two diagrams to stare at. Be able to draw those, see them in your sleep. And yes, I'm serious. All right, talk to you later. Bye.